LEGO instructions are usually pretty straightforward, but for certain sets, they have you doing the craziest stuff ever, like connecting 203 pieces together for one step in the roller coaster set, or literally dumping 284 studs into the ship in a bottle set. Like, come on, bro, this one has to be Ragebait. And these are only 2 of the 22 times LEGO was Ragebaiting us in the instructions. So make sure you watch until the end and subscribe if you hate Ragebait. For the first one, imagine it's 2007 and you're building the Imperial Landing Craft set from LEGO Star Wars. You're just following along with the instructions, then you get to step 27 on page 20, and there's just nothing. Like, the step number is there, the parts box is there, but it's completely empty. It's like LEGO just forgot to finish designing the page. And the weirdest part is that this made it all the way to the final printed manual, and it never got revised online. Usually when LEGO messes up, they'll fix the mistake in the online version, but this one is still there. But at least that empty step doesn't completely mess up your build, because the mistake in the Willy Wonka's set instructions is 10 times worse. You're building the chocolate riverboat, and in step 394, the white stern of the boat is clearly visible on the back. But then you look at step 395 and it's just gone. It literally vanishes into thin air. Then in step 396, it magically reappears like nothing ever happened. The design team acknowledged this was an error after people started freaking out online. But imagine building this set without knowing about it. Something just like this happened to me when I was building the Windmill Village Hut set from One Piece. And I flipped the pages back and forth like 5 times before I realized that LEGO messed up, not me. But even if the instructions are 100% right, you can still get Ragebaited, especially if you build the Colosseum set. The entire set is basically one section that you build 40 times. You make one arch with all of the columns and details, and then you do it again, and again, and again, and again, until you've gone completely insane and made an entire circle. But here's the best part. The last instruction booklet opens with, "Congratulations, you're nearly there." They know this set is mind-numbing and repetitive, and they're congratulating you for not giving up, even though you probably did. The worst part, though, is that this happens with a lot more sets than just the Colosseum, because it happened with Captain America's shield, too. Obviously, after the Colosseum, LEGO learned that people will deal with repetitive builds if the final result looks cool. So they made the Captain America shield set, and this one has you repeating sections either 36 or 18 times, depending on which part you're building. But pretty much everything in the beginning is 36. It's on page 17, page 18, page 20, page 22. I mean, I could go on. Obviously, the end result is pretty cool, but I think if the 16th page of a set I'm building looked like this, I'd want to give up immediately. Like, this is genuinely insane. But if you think 36 repeated sections sounds bad, let me tell you about the World Map set. This set has over 11,695 pieces, and besides 4,292 of them, literally every single one is a 1x1 stud or tile. And the entire time you're building, all you're doing is putting these studs and tiles down, one at a time. The worst part, though, has to be the color code you're expected to use. Every stud or tile is numbered, and I know this square may seem like a lot, but it's only 16 by 16 studs. So you're only putting down 256 pieces here, which is a literal drop in the bucket for this set. If you notice, though, the background for the instructions is black, which isn't a problem for this set, but for other ones, it was one of the most annoying things ever. LEGO stopped doing this after 2021, so the world map was one of the last sets to have this black background. But when I was looking for stuff for this video, I found out that the instructions for the UCS Batmobile from 2006 had a black background. I don't think I need to explain why this is a problem, but unfortunately, I couldn't find any pictures online of what the original booklet actually looked like. The one LEGO has online now has a blue background, but to me, it's pretty obvious that it wasn't always like this. For one, there are really faded bat signals on some of the pages, which would show up a lot better on a black background. But then the steps themselves just look weird. Instructions this old are always going to be low quality, but this almost looks like a bad Photoshop job if you ask me. But now let's get into the stuff that takes forever to build, but in a different way than the Colosseum and Cap's shield. The roller coaster set from 2018 has one step where you connect 203 chain links together to make one gigantic chain. Again, it's not spread across multiple steps where you build sections and connect them later. It's just one step that says make a chain out of 203 pieces. These pieces are tiny and difficult to connect, and the worst part is that this chain is literally essential to the set. It's the track the roller coaster sits on, so without it, the set is basically pointless. Whenever you have to make a chain like this in any LEGO set, it's always annoying. But the Sandcrawler from LEGO Star Wars takes it to another level. Instead of being one long line, these pieces have to be fitted to the feet of the vehicle. At first, it doesn't seem that bad, since it's nowhere near as many pieces as the roller coaster, but you just haven't figured it out yet. You need to build 4 of these feet, which means you have to do the same thing 4 times over, and the instructions makes it feel even longer. They have you make these treads 38 pieces at a time, and you have to do it 8 times, which is a total of 304 chain pieces. It may not be all in one go, but it's more than the roller coaster by a lot. But then there's the ship in a bottle set, which has the most insane instruction step I've ever seen. Obviously, this set is based on a real ship in a bottle, but what the LEGO version has that the real thing usually doesn't is water inside the bottle. They used a bunch of trans-clear blue studs to represent the water, and so far, nothing about this is Ragebait at all, but you just haven't seen the instructions yet. Once you build the bottle the ship sits in, LEGO tells you to just dump all 284 studs into the bottle. It's by far the easiest instruction in any LEGO set ever made, but I just can't get over how ridiculous it is. But unfortunately, this is where things get genuinely bad. The Technic Ferrari Daytona SP3 is a $400 set, so you'd expect the instructions to be perfect, right? Well, they weren't, and it wasn't just one little mistake like the one in the Willy Wonka set. The paper manual had multiple critical errors, including reversed wave selectors, swapped check marks and X marks, gear positions that were physically impossible, and leftover pieces that were supposed to be on the set but weren't. LEGO even sent the set out early to some people, and they were able to catch the mistakes, but this was the finished product, so everyone who bought the set got instructions that made it impossible to build. LEGO updated the digital instructions with all the fixes, but if you bought the set at launch and only had the paper manual, you were screwed on a $400 purchase. And Technic sets are already complicated, so imagine getting instructions that are just straight up wrong. Something similar happened with the Jazz Club set, but it was such an easy thing to miss that LEGO didn't catch it in time. As you follow the instructions, it tells you to keep using pieces from bag 12, but the thing is, bag 12 was completely empty. You check the bag, shake it out, look everywhere, and there's nothing left. So you're sitting there thinking LEGO forgot to pack pieces into your set. People were contacting support, posting on forums, and trying anything to get replacement pieces. But it turns out that the instructions just left out the part where you're supposed to open bag 13. It's such a simple mistake, but it caused so much confusion. Because I don't know about you, but I've never even heard of this problem in another set. I can only imagine how confused I'd be if this happened to me. But here's one that genuinely makes no sense, and it's basically the origin story of this entire topic. A certain instruction manual showed a 3-stud long plate stretching across 4 studs, which is obviously physically impossible. This one has been viral for years and is the main one people use when they talk about mistakes in instructions, so there's no way I could have left it out. I mean, this step is the original Ragebait. One thing I haven't covered yet though is when LEGO tells you to use less pieces than you're supposed to. The Emperor Palpatine's shuttle set has a step where the parts box shows 1 red lightsaber blade and 1 hilt, but the image shows 2 blades and 2 hilts being used. So which is it? Do you need 1 or 2? There's literally no way to figure it out besides building the rest of the set and hoping you were right, because LEGO didn't even fix the typo in the online version like they usually do. And the same thing happened with the Cozy House set from 2023. On page 89, the instructions show pieces being removed between steps 2 and 3, and then those same pieces being back on in step 4. The steps were clearly printed in the wrong order, so if you follow the instructions exactly like you're supposed to, you'll take pieces off just to put them right back on. But this next one isn't a mistake like everything else in this video. It's grade A Ragebait because it actually works. The UCS AT-AT set has Technic axles positioned so they physically can't be removed unless you use tools or destroy the entire build, and it's 100% intentional. Once you build this AT-AT, it's permanent. You can't take it apart to store it, you can't rebuild it into something else, you can't disassemble it at all. The AT-AT is one of many non-Technic sets that use Technic pieces, but designers know when certain things can't be done, so the fact that this happened anyway is genuinely upsetting. Shame on you, LEGO. If I had tomatoes on me right now, I'd be throwing them. Moving on to something more funny, let's talk about all of our arch enemies, stickers. They're the bane of our existence as LEGO builders, and some sets have a million of them. But the sticker situation in the NASA Space Shuttle Discovery set in particular is unbelievable. The set has 24 stickers that go on the inside of the ship. Now, that already sounds terrible, but it gets worse, because you have to put these things on the inside of curved pieces, which if you've never had to do, by the way, thank the LEGO gods, because it's rough. Don't worry though, it keeps getting worse, because 24 stickers on the inside of curved pieces wasn't enough. These stickers make up the entire interior of the shuttle. Every single one is this shiny silver color, so if you mess up even one of them just a little bit, the aesthetics of the inside of the ship will be completely thrown off. But I can't talk about stickers without talking about the Speed Champions theme. I just recently bought the set of Suki's S2K from Too Fast, Too Furious, because let's be honest, her car is sick. But this was my first time building a set from Speed Champions, and nothing could have prepared me for how many stickers I had to put on this car. The paint job is what makes this car so sick, but LEGO only made 2 printed pieces for it. The rest of them are all stickers, and just to prove it to you, I'm gonna count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There are 24 stickers on this set. But anyways, this next piece of Ragebait is so insane that it's almost hard to believe. LEGO said a while ago that they slowly but surely wanted to phase out paper instructions and only have them available online. I think I can speak for all of us when I say this would suck. But LEGO said they're worried about how much paper they're using for all these booklets, and I was on their side until I found out what they do for sets made for 4-year-olds. The instruction booklets for these sets have 1 step per page. That's right, just 1 step. If this isn't wasting paper, then I don't know what is. Come on, LEGO, you can at least do 2 steps. But apparently, LEGO thinks we're dumber than we are, because they tell us something extremely obvious in that Palpatine's shuttle set from before. This set was made for kids ages 8 to 12, and maybe I'm crazy here, but I don't think kids this old need LEGO telling them to put their bricks on a table instead of, what is that, grass? A carpet? Whatever it is, a 12-year-old doesn't need LEGO to tell them to put their bricks on a table. Like, let's be for real. Anyways, let's move on from that so I can show you a time when LEGO was literally trolling in the typewriter instructions. According to people online who've built it, this set is by far one of the most difficult non-Technic sets to build. But the reason is because the functional parts of this set use Technic pieces to make it happen. So yeah, that's a thing. Obviously, this set is known for how functional it is, which means you have to build a lot of it using Technic pieces. So a lot of the steps in the instructions are sub-builds that make the set operate. When you build just one of these sub-builds, you end up with 9 of these things, which is annoying on its own. But just to rub it in, LEGO shows them jumbled up in a pile instead of laid out next to each other. But remember, I said this happens when you build just one of these sub-builds, and there are 3 in total. So LEGO shows you 9 Technic builds piled up 3 separate times. Maybe I'm going crazy for this one, but this just feels like Ragebait at its finest. But if it didn't get you, this next one definitely will. The Minecraft Micro World Forest set has Herobrine lurking in the background of the first page in the instructions. If you don't know, Herobrine is a mythical Minecraft character that became a huge meme because he doesn't actually exist in the game. Mojang would even put removed Herobrine in patch notes as a joke, even though he was never real to begin with. So LEGO put him in the official instructions just to troll everyone. But this next thing was a mistake and a letdown at the same time. The Creel House in the Stranger Things theme just came out this year, and it came with minifigures of the entire main cast of Season 5. Some of these minifigures look super sick, but others ended up like Jonathan. Now, I'm not hating on his design. Making that guy into a minifigure would be pretty difficult. What I'm hating on here is the fact that his arms have no printing on them. Oh, and the reason I'm mad about this, by the way, is because he has prints on his arms in the instructions. So there's a version of him out there with this cool arm printing to make his jacket look normal. But instead, LEGO just used blank arms and didn't even fix the one in the instructions. But which of these rage bait moments actually got you? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.